Fair, accurate, to the point. The 10 o'clock news starts now on KBZK, Montana's news station.
An avalanche in Missoula buries 3 people in their homes. We'll have the latest coming up.
I'm meteorologist Mike Hurt. Outside in the elements tonight, wind and wind chills a big concern, along with areas of blowing snow. Storm tracker weather coming up.
Plus the latest on more than 100 head of cattle seized from their owner in the Three Forks area. Thanks for joining us for your 10 o'clock news right here on KBZK. I'm Jamie Leary along with Chief Meteorologist Mike Hurd.
Well, obviously there's a lot of severe weather going on right now around southwest Montana, but first you got some breaking news for us.
Yes, we wanted to update you on the avalanche that occurred in the Missoula area, which took out 3 homes in the Rattlesnake area of Missoula. The avalanche rumbled down the side of Missoula's Mount Jumbo around 4:15 this afternoon, running into a group of houses near its base. The roof of the house that was hardest hit rested crookedly on its side. The force of the slide knocked out the house from under it. Rattlesnake neighbors armed with snow shovels and probes ran toward the scene to help. The smell of natural gas filled the air after the slide hit the side of an apartment complex and took out the laundry room. A cheer went up from the crowd when emergency crews rushed an 8-year-old child into a waiting ambulance after he was buried for an hour underneath the snow. The child is in the hospital. His condition is unknown at this time. The crews were administering oxygen as they slid him into the ambulance. The search continued for 2 people believed to be in the home, and an hour later, a second victim recovered. Another hour passed, and a third victim was pulled from the snow and rushed to the hospital. Obviously getting very windy out here, so Jill Valley was on that scene all day long and shows us the rescue efforts of the neighbors around Missoula area.
So people were showing up with shovels, and we all just jumped in behind the house and started shoveling the snow out of the way.
The whole entire house just shook, heard a loud noise, looked out the window, and it was just white everywhere.
The shock of an avalanche into a neighborhood wore off quickly as anyone with a shovel or avalanche probe ran to the scene to help dig. There were pieces of house and torn trees everywhere in an incredible scene. Cheers went up from the crowd as the 8-year-old boy was pulled from the snow and taken to a waiting ambulance. The slide knocked the main house out from under its roof, that roof laying sideways after the snow pushed it over. Searchers climbing through rubble, searching for 2 people they thought were in that house, now under ice, snow, and wood fragments. It was a close call for some men who lived just feet from the destruction.
A little unnerving. I would have never thought there'd be an avalanche here, just off of Mount Jumbo, but
Even the unrelenting wind and the dangerous temperatures did not slow anyone down in their attempts to find those people trapped under the snow. In Missoula, Jill Valley, MTN News.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that is truly a remarkable story. So we sent our meteorologist Adam Bell out to investigate local avalanche conditions and to find out if that type of scenario in Missoula could happen here in Bozeman.
I'm joined now by one of our local avalanche experts, Mr. Mark Staples. Tell us a little bit about what happened in Missoula.
Well, all I've heard is that a house just north of Missoula was hit by an avalanche today, and that's about all I know. And it sounds like they had quite a bit of snow in that area.
Now, is there a concern that something like that could happen here locally with the conditions the way they are now?
Anytime you have a slope steeper than 30 degrees, you can get an avalanche. And avalanches happen most commonly during or about 24 to 48 hours after a storm. So any snow-covered open slope, steeper than 30 degrees, and you can get an avalanche. Obviously, the bigger the slope, the more damage the avalanche can cause.
What's the biggest thing that we need to look for in the next, let's say, 24, 48 hours in terms of the avalanche concern and the avalanche danger?
The main thing right now is that it's going to keep snowing and the wind's going to keep blowing. And so that's going to spike the avalanche danger. The real tricky part is after the storm ends, is trying to determine how quickly the avalanche danger will go down or if it'll stay elevated for a while.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I know you're getting up early to check out on those conditions in the morning, so we'll let you go, but I appreciate your time. I'm Adam Bell for MTN News.
Okay, it's getting brutal out here. Let's go right to the weather computer so I can get inside and warm up. Let's take a look at conditions right now. Wind chills are anywhere from 10 to 30 below zero across Montana, especially east of the Continental Divide. And that's going to be an ongoing issue here overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Snow reports are in there around 5 to 6 inches both west and east of the Divide. MSU campus today noting 6 inches of snow. Wilsall, Clyde Park over in Park County. around 6 inches as well, and up towards Boulder, noting 6 inches. Another plume of moisture over Salt Lake and Pocatello trying to work its way northward up into Montana. We'll keep an eye on that. Lots of warnings continue tonight into tomorrow, and now there's a fresh advisory issued for wind chills. 15 to 30 below wind chills, and frostbite is possible within 10 minutes. So limit your exposure during this time period. So scattered snow showers are likely with gusty winds. Overnight tonight, tomorrow morning, temperatures will not get above zero. But folks, this is not the only storm that we're looking at, and we've asked meteorologist Matt Elwell to investigate the next storm system. Matt?
Well, we're dealing with phase 1 of this storm with the snow showers and cold air. Phase 2 actually off into the Pacific, and it's this storm that we're keeping an eye on because this is going to provide most of the moisture for us. And get this particular storm is still 1,200 miles away. Now that's a lot of real estate for us to cover, and we're going to continue to track this storm and watch the results of how this moisture is really going to affect us over the upcoming days. Mike?
Okay, thanks, Matt. Well, that's how things look out here, Jamie. So you've gone inside and warmed up, but I'm going to have to build a fire to do that, I think.
Barely recovered. Thanks, Mike. Way to grin and bear it out there. We appreciate it. And